Welcome, 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 everybody. I had to go really high then. I've got the most amazing guest, just a really dear friend of mine, a true inspiration, a veteran on the She Loves It podcast. Welcome to episode 43. That's what I actually wanted to say before I went supersonic with excitement. This week, I have got back one of my amazing friends and amazing guests, Natalie Farrell, or as I always like to say, for God knows what reason, Natalie Farrell. I think it's like Pharrell Williams. It's got that like, woo, Hollywood gravitas about it now.
makes you happy.
It does.
Thank
you make me
so
happy.
Much, Rach.
So Natalie is a voice. I'm going to read her bio because A, she's got a brilliant bio, very well done. B, I really love the feeling of feeling like super pro when I'm reading someone's bio, so I'm just going to vibe with that. Natalie Farrell is a voice coach, author, and founder of Universal Streamers Agency, supporting artists, creatives, and leaders to amplify their voice and create meaningful cultural impact. With over 20 years of experience as a performer, teacher, and creative leader, she combines classical vocal training with transformational guidance to help others unlock their fullest expression. Oh, so good. Trained at the Brit School, the Junior Academy of Music, and the Royal Northern College of Music, Natalie has performed across the UK with groups such as the Marjorie Bells and the Vintage Cats. She has also guided students as a vocal coach and theatre school founder, with many progressing to top conservatories and the West End stage. She is the author of the incredible book, I added that bit, of Light the Way with the Unbound Press, host of Cosmic Soul Sundays, and a contributor to Brains magazine. Now based in Spain, Natalie leads Universal Streamers, US Management, and the Power of Us initiatives designed to empower creatives and leaders who are here to shape culture. Oh, so good!
Yes.
Does it feel good hearing, like, I'm sure you hear it a lot, people read your bio. Does it feel good though?
Yeah, it feels really good. I feel very solid right now. So solid. And, you know, I've been spending time shaking out my shame. So I just feel super, super solid. So yeah, hearing all of that, and it's just like respect, you know, for and I'm not calling them timelines either, the frequency frames that I have resided in. Yeah, it's just respect.
Oh my God.
You know, respecting that, what we were saying just before we came in, the concept of the rejection being the protection, and, you know, just knowing that each time I've gone out of myself, maybe gone back in my shell, but then come out again and or stayed in, you know, stayed in something in order to experience it, and just everything that I've done over since I was 20 years old is just part of me. So thank you. I received it all with love.
Oh, and that is like, there's so many things out of what you've just said that I want to pull out. And you literally just saying, and I received that with love. I'm writing that down as well because I want to come back to that idea. But for those, whenever I'm recording a podcast interview with somebody that I love and I respect and I'm inspired by, on one level, I want to tell their story, but on another level, I'm imagining myself as a listener and trying to pull out like that person's gems and their wisdom. And there's something you just said about shaking out the shame and holding a solid frequency. And I'm like, if I was listening, I would want to know how you do that, what that even means, and why the fuck I should be doing it.
Love you.
My face, if anyone's just listening to this, I just caught myself pull this really like, so excited face of like, I just need to know.
Yeah, and we talked all about the hair, so we're gonna get really hairy with this. Let the hair be wild. Yeah, so Okay, stuffocation is coming up straight away. Like how we
Suffocation or stuff?
suffocation, yes,
Like
stuff.
stuff.
Like how we stuff down, our stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, and then, but in that stuff, I see all of the light, all of the greatness, the goodness, the gifts that we were all born with. But we just keep stuffing it inwards, which is the opposite of expansion and stepping in and out as who we were born to be. So I definitely loved being a singer. I love music. I was just writing something actually for a magazine, and I was talking about, the first time that I saw music, read music, it was just like, this is my language. And I felt as an 8-year-old child safe. I felt that I found something that I could communicate with and connect with. But not only that, it's like transcribe my personality through the music, through that as a portal. So that's like 8 years old, and it's that solid in my body. That's a solid core memory that's true. We talk about speaking our truth. So that's a truth memory. And then obviously along the way, we start to stop, sadly, the internal relationship with ourselves and focus, what I did anyway, but I know obviously from my work, and
I think it's so common, isn't it?
Exactly, on the external and on the judges from the outside. We also have our own inner judges, our own critical parent, the critical voice. And this is, how we learn to then show up in the world. And so I started transforming that art for what I thought others would be impressed with. And then I got lost. And I got lost. What is the I? What I call it the true expression of me, the true essence of my truth. So if I go back to that 8-year-old, it's just pure joy. It's pure, give me more, give me more. I want to soak this up. I want to be, I want to be in this creation. That's the I think I'm talking about, that got lost to please others. And I identify as an adult child of an alcoholic. I've talked about this. So I actually have 14 traits. And if people are interested, then they just would need to go in and discover and learn about that. But one of the traits is seeking approval from others. So then I became a severe people pleaser. And then it just tumbleweeds, and then I got lost, and like you said, top. It's really interesting, that word. I don't really see the world like that anymore, like top conservatoire, or I got a place at the Royal Northern College of Music, and I worked hard for that, Rach. I would say I expressed hard now, but it was very much box. I'm being put into boxes, and that's not what I'm here for. But I didn't know that at 20. I was 20 to 24 when I was there. You mentioned the Vintage Cats, the Marjorie Bells. That's the professional work that I did in vocal trios, and performed in many different places and different forums. And I did feel that I had expression then. I did feel that I was expressing, and I was loving, and I was in joy. But I still had this, what was leading me was the people pleasing and these traits of seeking others' approval, being scared of authority. So I wasn't ever fully getting up to the fountain, the top of the fountain of my expression.
Oh, beautiful. And for those of you listening, Nat was just showing with her hands. Like her hands were up above her head and they were like demonstrating a fountain overflowing and refreshing itself and like bubbling over. It was so clear what you were showing with your hands there to mirror what you were saying with your words.
Yes, you don't have to be a creative or a singer to experience this stuffing, the stuffing down of of your own essence, your own spirit, and your emotions.
Is that where the shame part comes in? Is around where does the shame like shake you? It's what you said was solid and shaking out the shame, and I'm hearing the solid. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the solidness is that solidness of being in your essence and being in what is true and alive and asking to be expressed. Like before all the bullshit comes on the top and suppresses it, that's the solidness, what's actually at the core and underneath.
Yeah.
Then where does the shame and how does that relate to what we're talking about and people pleasing?
Yeah. So yeah, really. Thank you. Really great question. So just guilt means that I did bad, but shame means I am bad.
Oh, that distinction is so good. So good.
Yeah. And let's just think about that again. Let me say it again. Guilt is I did something wrong, but shame is I am bad. And so if you think, you know, and most of us, we don't even know that we have these kind of carpets, layers of shame. So again, it goes back to wanting to approve one person's approval, which was my dad's, and seeking that approval, which I could never get. So I was learning to show up, to be like amazing, and then for it to be received in a very kind of dead like response. But this is just my interpretation of it, but just, yeah. So then okay, so I need to do more. Like, this is why I've had to heal my relationship with more, the word more. Like, I needed to do more to prove more. So I'm constantly in a like a perpetuating cycle of never feeling fulfilled by the person that I'm seeking the approval from. And then that just transmits and translates, to other authority figures. Could it be like somebody, I sang once, I entered the Kathleen Ferrier competition. I got to 29, and it's very typical of me. And I was like, right, I'm going to do it, because I couldn't enter a past 30. And I remember standing in the audition rooms, listening to all the other singers, and I was like, but I was with an amazing accompanist. I was like, just going to do this, Mark. We're just going to get out in front of that panel. And I remember making the, he was like one of the directors of, I think, Glyndebourne, and I made him laugh. Like, so that for me, I came away with something like really like joyful, because one of my characters had made him laugh. But those panels, it wasn't always like that for me. Like, it was, like I can almost feel like my whole body tightening up. So imagine as a singer or somebody speaking, for example, doing a presentation in the workplace. If they don't know that there's shame, or that they have that, all of these kind of behavioral traits or defects like perfectionism and wanting to get everything right, and how it kind of holds us in. So I've had to go back to my identity, and uncover the truth of my identity. Yeah.
And then, because you're out. So the reason I wanted to get Nat on is, Nat, if you haven't listened to, I cannot remember which episode it is, but back in the 30s, I've got it here, so I'm just going to find it in my little notes. 36. No, 35. Episode 35. Go back. Episode 34. I don't know what's going on. And I've got my notes here. Jesus.
34.
34. We did, me, Natalie, and Emily did, oh, we just had such a good time because, again, I wanted to get them on because their Power of Us event, which was Natalie's brainchild, it was Natalie's, like, you can hear the whole story on that episode. And I would thoroughly recommend, if you haven't listened to episode 34, go back and listen to it. I'll put that in the show notes as well. Go back and listen to it because Natalie's story is just fascinating in that episode. The event that they created is incredible, and the synergy and the magic that has amplified since Nat and Emily have come together is just beautiful. And since then, Natalie has done something really quite incredible and so inspiring, because her first album has come out. You know it's going to be in the show notes. You know I'm going to be encouraging you to go and download it, listen to it, like give Nat some love on it, because honestly, you launched it live on YouTube, and Emily randomly was staying at my house, the one and only time she was staying at my house that night, and we're crowded round in my kitchen. We've got the laptop out, and there's Nat and her partner, her writing partner, Francis, who plays the piano incredibly, and they're like bringing this live celebration of this album, and me and Emily were just like clutching hands like, oh my god, look at her go, oh, we're so proud. And I was like, I have to get you on to talk about No Longer Lost, which is the name of your incredible album.
Yeah, and now obviously just sharing what I've shared, the title kind of speaks for itself, but I lost my identity. I lost my identity through people pleasing, through staying in relationships that were unhealthy, that just kept hitting abandonment wounds, and that reject button, reject. So yeah, and then little by little, bit by bit, I've always trusted my intuition in my work, and what's come through from, like you mentioned, the Cosmic Sunday shows that were on Wellbeing Radio. That started my interviewing off, and just like I said at the beginning, really about connecting with people and sharing their stories. I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued by people, and curious, like you said, to kind of get out the depths of their souls, to get them to share the truth, real conversations, and No Longer Lost. It was really just feel divinely given, and the moment that it happened was sitting at the piano with Francis. Somebody had recommended Francis to me as somebody to collaborate with, and she then went to read my book. And by the way, just like a little side wing note here, like if you are feeling the call to do any of these things, to write a book, to collaborate with somebody, you just keep going into those the side wings, and keep with, because then eventually it just all, doesn't it, Rachel? It just all kind of becomes its own, just its own. What am I trying to say here? It's not the end goal. Like none of it is the end goal. It is all about being in the moment, being in the present, being in the creation. And trusting the self to create. So like the way Francis read Light the Way, and she said, I'd like to put the words to song, and I said, "Wow!" And I think I teared up,
Oh,
and that it then began, and it took 9 months, but it happened very quickly. As the words came to me quickly, then in a month she had eight melodies and beautiful accompaniments.
so beautiful.
Yeah, then came back from traveling in February. I went into her studio in her house, and her husband was our sound engineer and mixer and masterer. And so we worked together in that day and put the tracks down. And then the next thing Frances said to me, she said, "I see this is expansive. This needs to be arranged as well. And can I recommend Sam Hall?" And so I went in to look at Sam Hall's work, and I was like, "Yeah, you know me, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it." Also, this is a great philosophy. If in doubt, just go, fuck it, let's do it. And so that's what I did. And also working with somebody that's like, right, 50-50, you're in that again, that kind of, really respectful, solid alignment. It's boundaried. And so we both agreed on that, as a business investment. And then they got arranged within 6 weeks. And yeah, then it gets mixed and mastered, and then now I'm in sharing mode, because as you said, it went live on the 22nd. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy.
Because Light the Way, I remember when your book Light the Way came out. And you'd written those incredible poems at the start of every chapter, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the time I was in awe of you, because you were the first person I knew and I'd seen who was publicly doing light language on Instagram. And you were just like channeling it hard, you were just going for it. And then you had a vision of like having different women recording the poems at the start of the book, at the start of every chapter. And I was so fortunate that you asked me to be one of your readers, and you saw me as Venus, which I always love. And I got to read that amazing poem. And I think it's this incredible full circle moment to then watch you go. Yeah, and then I came all the way. Do you remember? I came to your book launch, like a mini book celebration. We went to that really posh place in the harbour, and you were over from Spain, and everyone was there. It's amazing. And yeah, there's a couple of things. It's like, I just think you have such you have such a gift for bringing other people along with you. When you're expanding, when you're going to the next level, and I know you'll receive this, because this is something you're really A, working on, and B, have worked on and really good at, but you're so talented at bringing other people along with you. You have such star energy, and yet you use that to elevate people around you. And it's just something I really admire, that seems so effortless for you, and also so solid and genuine and truthful. It's beautiful. And you did that with the book. And yeah, it feels like such a full circle moment that now somebody did that for you as well. They were like, I see your book and I raise you. I know, my whole body is tingling as I said that, like that full circle moment of true expansion, like the book needed the time to land. You needed the time to do whatever you needed to do in the interim, because it's 5 years, right, since you wrote that book.
Yeah.
And then Frances is like, right, let's go. Let's co-create to the next level.
Yes. Oh, and didn't we just do that and enjoy it? Like, I don't spell enjoy anymore with the E. It's enjoy, and enjoy. We went, and we traveled, and we journeyed together, and we spoke. We spoke about the you know, just how beautiful it is to reclaim our femininity. And she felt that this was really, really, really important. It was something she was really attracted to
Can you tell me more about that? Because I've never heard you speak about that.
Yeah, so obviously what you're saying is true about the poems. These were like the soul imprints, the women that, you know, not just one woman, but there are a few Venuses in my journey that
What?
that moved me.
I am not your only Venus.
You are my only Venus. You know, these, yeah, exactly. That these, you're the only Rachel Venus.
Yes,
exactly.
all right.
You know that Venus is connected to Earth and all of the Earth frequency as well. So I'll just share that with you. So it's nice and that grounded Venus energy. Yeah. And yeah, so then I've lost my track now. I'm not, which track am I on?
Indignation at not being the only Venus. It's just derailed our entire conversation. Yeah, you were talking about,
and then
I asked you about the feminine, the reclaiming of the feminine.
Yes. And how because I have met you, that I have also met me. So through being in awe, being in respect, seeing something in another that I know is within myself, that's kind of what was happening with these words, you know, and yeah, I mean, I was very much in my masculine. I was very much in order and organization, which are actually, I've had my Akashic records read, and these are gifts of mine. But then I also understood that I'm a speaker soul, which is a soul that brings, you know, communication and uses the voice for good. More of a rare kind of soul. And so when Francis and I were talking, I feel perhaps again what you're just sharing about that openness and me being willing to take people along for the ride as well, that it was that she respected in me, and then that helped her to open up more, helped her to express herself more, believe in herself more. We've definitely had conversations like this because I definitely have that impact on people, that triggers the, oh shit, can I do this? Because I'm a visionary as well, so I see things, and you know, I'm understanding more and more about that, so I can be more patient myself, like on my bigger visions that I see. So yeah, respecting the reclamation of what I talked about in Light the Way, because that was all about my journey of balancing the masculine and the feminine within me, because of course we have it in all of us, despite which gender we identify with. And that was being talked about a lot, wasn't it, about 10 years ago?
It was really in the collective conscious.
Exactly. And then the feminine rising, and now we've got a lot of masculines rising. We're getting to, you know, I definitely think 2026 is going to be a much stronger year for, you know, the unified masculine and feminine within us all. And I'm seeing a lot more of my male friends actually speaking out, and understanding their identity that's been lost, and their people pleasing, and being more open to have these conversations, which obviously going to, in the grand scheme of things, help us with our relationships, help us to love deeper. This was one of the promises that I said, I just want to love deeper, find deeper love. I said that about a year and a half ago, and it's definitely happening, but I think it's more with myself, you know.
So beautiful.
Falling in love with myself, and so I'm sure there's so much more that I can share on this, but just two women coming together. We've only known each other for 1 year, and coming into this like unified space of helping each other with our art. I call her my regal eagle, because when she gets to that piano, does she command the piano? Helping each other as artists to up level, to nurture, she even wrote me a song.
Oh,
So I think one day I'll get into the studio and sing that, and we'll sing it together. And our harmonies, so I mentioned that I was in a harmony group. Of course I love being in harmony groups. Like, I love being in harmony, but equally I love being and teaching others to get, into the cracks of the sound, into the what would be disharmony or dis-ease, to feel comfortable in the not only in the resonance. I can't think of the technical word for it, but yeah, dissonance. There we go. There's the dissonance, so the resonance and the dissonance. So these polar opposites. And that's really, kind of coming full circle, is where I'm at now with my understanding of what my purpose is here, my soul purpose, my soul truth, to help people to open up their voices. And it's not about singing. I mentioned this before. It's about coming back to, I might cry as I say this, actually. Natural Natalie. Yeah, natural Natalie.
that's so beautiful. And just taking a moment to honor, like, the rivers of the eyes fall with salty truth, don't they?
Yeah.
When they open up and water emerges, it's carrying tales of truth and beauty.
Yeah. And I can just be me today.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine you ever, now knowing you now, knowing Natalie now, I can't imagine you ever not being you. Like, you're so you. It's just magnificent.
Yeah. But
Why
when I
do you think
look at
that was
my own
so
eyes, like I look at my eyes, and um, I see beauty. I see the eyes of my aunt. I see the eyes of my uncle. I see the generations, the people that I've grown up with. Like, I love that the river, that we've got to look into ourselves.
Mm.
If you're still resisting it, talk about the other side. It is just beautiful on the other side. It is just so gorgeous. And I can rest now. I can be in stillness. I can be in peace. And just deep gratitude, and all the things, you listen to the spiritual teachers talking about. And now, yeah, I have it in my soul.
Mm. Wow.
Mm.
I'm letting myself just enjoy that stillness for a moment that you are holding and transmitting and emanating for us. And if you're listening and it's safe, do the same. That little girl that had a dream, and that dream was joy and expression. So beautiful now.
Yeah, and now I'm taking the power of us, and inviting incredible souls like yourself. You're coming to speak with us in Bristol on November the 13th, and we're creating a vault, the Veneration Vault.
Really thought you were going to say vulva.
Yeah, the Veneration Vulva Vault. Yeah. Yeah, we're creating the voices in, we're celebrating all voices. And it's funny you talk, because I used to put on shows. Little Natalie would put on shows, and now This is more than a movement than a show, but it is definitely going to be entertaining. And that's just one word that it's going to be. From before, it was like out of this world. I heard many people say, you take me out of this world, and I've trusted myself to open myself as a vessel, to be able to interpret rather than channel. I think interpretate for me now. I have to use this because I'm understanding that it's coming from within me as well. This is my cellular memory. I talk about this on the other podcast about being Shira, and translating the light of Shira, which means soul song. And just the people that are saying yes to come and play with me and create with me.
And it's been like so activating to say yes. And before we move on,
yes,
that moment that you just were so expansive and open to let us witness, that moment that we just shared that was so still and so, it was like a delicious cake, that I was just savoring. It was so beautiful. And I'm wondering for people who are like, yeah, Nat's channeling some light language for us, and I'm really here for it, using our hands. I'm just wondering for people who are like, I want to be on the other side. You said this is what it's like on the other side. And I'm wondering what advice you would have for somebody who can't even see that there's another side to get to, but hears your words and thinks, I want that. Where do they even start?
So I love words, as you know. So I'm going to say the word.
With them as well.
Yes, let's get messy with the words. So say the word whole. And if you're in that hole, as in HOLE, know that you can put a W in front of it and come back to your whole truth, your whole identity. If you are in a hole, I learned this when I became an NLP practitioner. If you are in a hole, then look up and ask for help from others who are empathetic, not sympathetic, because the sympathetic just jump straight in that hole with you, and they ain't going to be no help at all.
Now there's two of you in the hole.
There's two, and they're just gonna keep expanding the trauma, the wounds. They're just going to keep blowing your trumpet. You're going to keep believing the false identity. You're going to keep believing that. Look up, see the people that are willing to throw the rope or to gently pull you out of the hole. That is through saying, and then this is very common, yes and no, those boundaried yes and no's. Find something that helps you to even if it's finding 1 minute a day of connection with yourself, whether that is walking outside, sitting with your an animal that you love. I lie down on the floor with Rocket a lot and play, because he reminds me to have that playfulness. Just start with that small connection. Because you are an expansive being, and to hold yourself all at once is probably going to be too much to begin with. Yeah, you're getting that, Rach, yeah? And we just little by little again, and there was one other thing I was thinking about, the whole and the whole. And just something that I learned is to let go of expectation, because I held a lot of resentment. So if we let go of the expectation, then we can unravel, get unbind from the resentments, and then the blame. And it is like a domino effect. So once you're there, then the blame, then you start to actually, that was it. That's what I was going to say. You have to get out of your own way, but that means getting out of denial. I've learned that as don't even know that I'm lying to myself. And that is that's like the chronicle point. Because, you know, once you stop lying to yourself, then you have to admit, and then you have to, you know, ask for help, or, you know, go into other environments, communities that might feel uncomfortable, that might feel edgy, unsafe, but in the long term, you know, you're gonna start finding your people, you know. And I love this. I joined a tribe, and you know, I think we are gonna. There's going to be a lot more kind of a lot more tribes kind of coming together. We're obviously part of the Unbound community, but I feel like it is going to get more tribal as we get closer. I'm talking over 100 years. Somebody told me they see me being 127. I might see some of this kind of tribal Earth. You know, there's a festival called Tribal Earth coming back as Venus and Earth come more into peace as well. So that's obviously bigger picture. That's kind of more for humanity, more for the planet and it being healed. So yeah, look in the mirror, be truthful to yourself, and start talking, getting vocal.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm always looking. I love the little gems that people have. I love people's processes, and pulling that out. And yeah, like earlier on, we were talking a lot about expansion. And I've talked a lot on my podcast this season 3. I've talked a lot about expansion because I came back from Ireland and things just had to change in our life. And I was like, I know that I'm such a powerful manifester, and I've spent the last 18 months basically manifesting the same thing of, I don't know what I want, I'm in grief, I'm broke, I don't want to do this anymore. And sure enough, that's what's been manifesting in life. And things started to change, and because I was like, I'm done abusing my power like that. Like, this is affecting my whole family, it's affecting me. This isn't who I am in my soul. Like, there's a lot I want to do, and my goal is I want to be a shining example of what is possible in this lifetime. And I'm a 3/5 sacral generator. I wanted to ask you, by the way, what is your human design? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Let me phone a friend. Emily Doe. Emily Doe, remind me.
Do you not know?
She's told me, and now I can't remember.
Oh, I'm gonna find out. I want to know because I'm curious.
Right, we're the same. I don't know. She knows. Emily.
Phone a friend. Yeah. But, I don't know. I don't quite know what I'm trying to say, but like, it's just this thought about, you said when you were talking just now and explaining people who are in that space of wanting to be where you are now, but also at the very beginning of that journey to get there. And you were like, little bits at a time, because there is so much expansion. And like, I've just finished rereading for the second time the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Have you read it? Some of it, yeah. It is a brilliant, brilliant book, and it talks a lot about the upper limiting problem. And that strikes me of like, there just feels like there's something really alive and important around like the process of expanding and the process of letting the good shit in. And I feel like, you know, when we were talking about coming into the space that you're in, of this wholeness and this freedom and this expression and this fully you out there expressed in the world, and it strikes me that there's like the stage where you're kind of reclaiming yourself and finding yourself again, and then there's another stage after that where you're learning to allow more and more and more and more and more and more of that out into the world.
Yay.
Got there in the end. God, that only took 10 minutes, guys.
No, as you were saying, I'm just seeing that funnel, you know, like my funnel's round the right way now.
Oh,
like it was kind of in the funnel yeah, the tube part of the funnel was in my throat, but now that tube part is next to my vulva.
Nice.
Oh, like that's there, and then it's all, yeah. So the funnel, and
Such
you
a
know,
good visual.
yeah. So the funnel is fully open. And of course, you know, if we talk about like business, and then that's going to help my sales funnel, and all about, for me, it's all about being genuine. And you know, I remember Freedy. So Freedy's my soulmate, and he said to me I remember 5 years ago. He said, "What you can help others do is be and get to their natural tone." And now, like, that's why I was crying, like, natural Natalie, because he said, you know, like, he could see always that that's what I could do, but I had to, like you say, in time and over time, get over myself and get over the stuff, and believe in myself. And yeah, I think it just does take time, and it's not just our own frequency, it is what's happening, you know, planetary as well, and the alignment of the connections, that when we're ready to let go of somebody, what impact that has. Because in actual fact, I'm seeing like a trampoline now, like sometimes you can let go of a relationship or a connection or a business, and then it kind of really catapults you very quickly. And you might be saying, well, you know, that just happened naturally, or maybe it does, but there's just something in all of our decisions and all of the timing of it, and they're like chain reactions, like chemical, scientific, physics, like chain reactions. And that's why the denial part is really important, because you probably go and do like an inventory of things that actually you are stagnating in, because that will be, you know, like pond life, you know, get rid of the newts.
Yeah.
Or maybe not the newts, if you're like, I know you went on a witchy walk, maybe you want, maybe you want those, like maybe they need to go into your cauldron, or, you know, whatever works for everybody, you know, and be silly. Yeah, you know, clear the water.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And what's been like, as you've been on this journey of expansion, you know, it feels like you're really in an expanded place, and in that place is such a sense of like stillness and peace and power and possibility. But what's it been like hitting up against the edges of your expansion?
Great question.
Oh, I love it when people say great question to me. I'm just going to receive that for a moment, because I've got this thing, right, that I'm healing in real time right now with you, of I don't ask good questions. Like, as a coach, I'm a really good coach, but really good coaches ask great questions, and that's not something I have ever considered myself good at. But I decided literally yesterday, I'm going to notice every time someone says to me great question, and I'm going to let it all the way in. So thank you.
Yeah, great question. It is, every time I'm hitting that boing, that is just a place for me to recognize, to maybe assess if there's a lot of resistance, you know, where is the resistance coming? You have to go back to journaling, back to speaking, you know, back to asking for help. And then we go again.
Yeah.
No, then we go again. And going back to the album, No Longer Lost, you know, and working on sharing it. I just received my first album review, and like, I'm sitting with Freedy and Rocket having a cup of tea, you know, with tears in my eyes, because somebody that I don't know has listened and understood, you know, understood what it is, you know. And you might listen, you might not like it. Now, I'm all up for that, you know, because it's not going to be everybody's taste. But it will be one song, perhaps, you know, especially Noor. I think there's a lot of people really loving the last track, Noor.
I love that. That is one of my absolute favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like somebody said, "Oh, it's my new mantra," and I was like, "Oh my God!" And so it is. I suppose what I'm saying here is, when I hit those edges, it's learning to go back, understand what's blocking me. And then that opens up this, I never can say this word properly, the receiving and the giving. So it is that receptivity. There we go.
Reciprocity.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, and that has been the big missing piece for me. And
Receiving and the giving.
yeah,
The
in its
symbiotic flow of energy between receiving and giving.
yeah, exactly,
And that's so just walk me through it with a perimenopausal brain. Like, what's the relationship in your mind between the reciprocity and symbiosis of receiving and giving and coming up against your edge of expansion?
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Can I answer it in light language and then I'll.
Yeah, let that energy pour through because this feels like a moment of expansion right now.
Mhm. So, iturumui inaara annu tuurumu tuuru ishtakataarin yarao arim itara ustarin au ita ara awai itara a udara mayutu in. And that kind of sound there is that, even if you're listening, just do it and see like ripples of water coming out from your body. Just see it expanding, 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 expanding. And what that's saying is, you know you. I love this because when I say it, it feels like it's coming back inside of my throat. It's like, oh, you know you. You know you. And it's always in this kind of sense, it's be gentle in a child, like like those kind of slide sounds feel like, talking, the mother talking to the child. And be gentle. Yeah.
Be gentle.
Gentle.
Receive, like giving and receiving, they feed each other. That was like what I took from that was, I'm just going to allow it to come forward, what I took from that energetically and intuitively and kind of decode it. And you can tell me how close to the mark I've got it. But what I took from that was like that dance, the dance of receiving and giving when you're right at the edge of your expansion. It is the bridge that can take you forwards because it is the exchange of energy that allows that like edges to soften and to bridge the edges. That's what is just like my psychic sixth sense is telling me. That's how I'm interpreting that. Because like giving and receiving are two sides of I'm just seeing like the infinity symbol and the running of the energy. And it's almost like the edge is at the central point between the two edges of the infinity, and the give, the receive, the give, the receive, the give, the receive, like that. That's what's like on an energetic sense, that dance, that symbiosis, that reciprocity is what is allowing more expansion physically and energetically to happen.
Yeah, of course. And then as you're saying that, I love that, but there's no end.
No, but that's what I mean. Like I feel like you, or at least I can only speak for myself, right? And I only speak for what the visions I'm getting as I'm talking about it. But when I was sort of thinking about expansion, to me, it feels like being in a bubble and you get to an edge and it's like you kind of test that edge, you prod that edge, the edge, you're like, oh, I better draw back from that edge because that's a new space for me. I don't know what the air's like up here. And it's like, obviously, we are the universe having a human experience. We are literally limitless. But it comes back to what you said earlier about like, our human minds can only take so much expansion at a time, and there are new levels we have to make ourselves safe going to. And like, obviously this is really alive for me at the moment because I've just had a massive expansion. I just got back in touch with dreams that I'd given up on as a child, and I suddenly started to feel amazing, and I felt a part of me deliberately sabotage it, and it's been fascinating to watch, literally fascinating, because like I'm like, are you kidding me? We're doing this. We're going to do this again, are we? Like, and normally I don't catch that pattern, but this time I was literally watching myself do it, and I'm like, fuck's sake. Okay, so we're doing this again, but obviously,
But differently.
there's consciousness around it, so that makes it differently. Like there's observation,
Exactly.
there's awareness, there's an ability to step back and interact with it and bring that wholeness back to it and investigate what that part needs, like all the skills that we have as internal space holders and professional space holders.
Yeah.
But it's just such a fascinating thing to talk about, and I don't think people talk about it enough, actually, because I don't hear people in the coaching space talking about it as much as I would like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm in your wisdom there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that, all that Rachel has just shared and expressed. Yeah. And and I think also, going to trust as well.
Yeah.
So trusting that the right thing is going to show up, whether that be like you're saying, oh my God, is this the lesson that I've got to learn again, which I talk about in Light the Way, because Light the Way, I wanted to create, like a framework for people going through a spiritual awakening, something to hold your hand as you go through it, because I didn't feel like there was a step-by-step guide. I mean, of course, it's different for all of us, but there are some principles, that remain the same. And fear being something that's very common for us. And the fear is the brain's way of saying, the ego's way of saying, just hold back, you're not safe. And then we have to go into that part of you. Maybe for me is a lot of teenager that didn't feel safe, and I had to explore the teenager. I had to listen to her. Where was she stuck? Conversation, and that heart. We could just keep going, because we are complex. We're complex beings, but once we clean ourselves, then it becomes easier for us to consciously, like you've said, grab the falseness and clean it up and move on from it, to make it shrink it,
Shake it out.
shrink it.
Yeah, shrink it, shake it, like I did. Yes, it's really funny you're talking. First of all, you talked about shaking out the shame, because literally yesterday I was like doing some journaling in bed, and I was like, oh my God, I literally feel like my whole energy field is full of like shit, full of stuff, full of ideas, full of things, full of thoughts, and it's not sparkly and radiant and clear at the moment. And I was like, do you know what? I just need to go for a walk, and with every step on the earth, I'm just going to leave some of it behind. Like, so this walk is just going to clear out all of that stuff that's percolating in my energy field, and just let it go. But do you use light language for stuff like that as well? Because I do, and I'm just curious how you use light language, like you just so graciously shared with us, in your everyday life.
Oh my God, another great question. Taking that
Hey, I'm great at asking questions, guys. It's official. She said it 3 times.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
The answer is that I use it. That's really fascinating, because I use it when I'm singing.
Yeah.
When I create music.
It's on your album, right? There's light language.
Yes, on the album. It's in Luna. Yes, in Luna. I love Luna. The end of Luna. You have to have earphones on and get into the again, like using music, you can get into the frequencies. You can push your edges through listening to tracks like that, like transcendental kind of music that's using the binaural beats and the hertz and the different waves of frequencies as well. So it's another answer to that question. But yeah, I don't really use it in my own. So I'm going to now.
Oh, that's fascinating. I was like totally. I use it to pump my energy up in the morning. I literally layer on top of the language the light, and imagine it coming through every cell in my body as it's going through my voice.
Maybe I do that actually.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if you're not doing that. I use it when I'm out walking or when my energy's really low and I need a boost.
Yeah.
I use it then.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the biggest thing that's been happening to me in the last three months, where I have been learning the Anahazi Maya language. So it's the oldest language, so the language of the beginning, as it was in the beginning, and so I chant. So in the mornings I chant. So that's how I'm using it. But I think there is definitely room for me to use it in other ways from this conversation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I think it's been it was such a journey of activation for me. And then knowing that it was to activate other soul-led entrepreneurs like yourself and many now around the world. That's been its focus. To open other people's gifts and remembering their soul gifts. But no, definitely with the chanting, I love the chanting and the language slowly settling in my body again. Like Taisha Intadoe means, and so it is, and so it is.
Say that again. Say that again for us. I just want to really receive it.
Taisha Intadoe.
Can you do me a solid and just say it 3 times?
Yeah.
In fact, let's play. Let's use Nat's magic here. So if it is safe for you to do so, listening to this, let's imagine ourselves coming to the edges of our expansion, being at that point of the edge and letting it expand even more, letting ourselves be safe in that expansion, in the truth of who we are. And then Nat, maybe you could channel a little bit of light language, finishing with 3 of the and so it is.
Yeah, my fingers they're already going.
I just really receive it myself.
Yeah, so that beautiful invitation to just relax like you would in a beautiful safe place like a bath or sun lounger or the sand, and just let yourself the edges of you permeate out, like your cells are expanding and opening up to this new possibility. Sealing. Receiving. Taisha Intadoe. Taisha Intadoe.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much. I feel like that is an amazing place to wrap up this interview because I know you and me, we will go and go and go. And I know it won't be the last time I get you on this podcast.
Thank you. And you're coming on mine soon. So that be so beautiful. We're going to get vocal on the Power Pod. Yeah,
we are. We'll share about that. I'll put that in the show notes because we might even have done it by the time this goes out and goes live. But I think everybody needs to go and follow you. Go check out Cosmic Songbird
_
Cosmic _ why don't you say that's going to be more sensible.
No, it's just I think there was another Cosmic Songbird, and there's nothing on their page, but anyway, it's Cosmic Songbird _. And you can search my name, Natalie Farrell, as well.
Go find her. And I'm 100% sharing her album, No Longer Lost, in the show notes.
Thanks, Ray.
Go and check it out. It's incredible. Put headphones on, let it be immersive, and really receive and let yourself be activated by it, because it is a living transmission. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're
Oh,
so
thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much for coming on. Oh, and that's where my video's gone. And just thank you for listening today to me and Natalie having this conversation, and for playing with us, and for having a beautiful time. I've been your host, Rachel Smithbone. Come follow me as well on social media if you don't already. And if you haven't, please leave me a 5-star review, because I really want to build this channel and bring things that inspire all of us to be our most expressed, truthful, visionary, magnificent, magnetic selves publicly. So share with one person who needs to hear today's episode, and thank you so, so much.